You spent 20 minutes re-explaining your brand voice to Claude, again, and the output still missed the tone. Claude Skills is the fix for exactly that. Claude Skills lets you teach Claude how to do your specific tasks once, so it remembers forever. The confusion is whether it's code, a prompt, or something totally different. Alright, so part 1. What actually is a Claude skill? Most people hear the word and assume it's some kind of plugin or code module, so they skip it entirely, which is a real miss. A lot of folks are out here retyping the same 200-word context block every single session because they think skills are too technical to bother with. I dug into the official docs, and here's what I found. A skill is just a folder with a skill.md file inside, plain English markdown, no code at all. Claude has a built-in skill creator that interviews you and writes the file for you. So if a prompt is a recipe, a skill is the entire kitchen setup, and it applies across every task in that category. So the belief that skills are a code thing is a myth, and it's probably the most expensive myth in this whole video because it's keeping non-technical people away from a tool they can use right now. That's question 1 answered. A skill is a markdown file. The built-in creator writes it for you, and no coding required. I only know that markdown detail because I spent a full afternoon clicking around the wrong menus before I found it. Drop a reply if you've wasted time on this too. Okay, so part 2, how does Claude even know when to use a skill? A lot of people set up their first skill, ask Claude a question, and nothing happens, so they assume it's broken. You've got 10 skills loaded, and Claude just ignores all of them, and that's a description problem, not a bug. And understanding this one mechanic changes everything about how you write skills. Watch what happens at startup. Claude preloads only the name and description from every skill's front matter, just a few dozen tokens per skill, and then when you send a request, it matches your words against those descriptions. If there's a match, it pulls in the full instructions, but if your description doesn't fit your request, the skill never fires, so you don't invoke a skill, it invokes itself. The mechanism is cleaner than most people expect. The description field in your skill MD is the trigger, full stop. It's kind of like a GPS that only recalculates when you turn onto a new road. It's not running at full power the whole time. That's 2 questions answered, and the description as trigger rule is the one to actually remember. Now part 3. Are skills just fancy saved prompts? This one trips people up because on the surface they look similar. You've probably got a notes file somewhere with your best prompts copy-pasted in, and you're wondering if skills are just a fancier version of that. But the difference is exactly why skills actually save you time at scale, while save prompts don't. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. I had to run through this carefully because the framing really matters. A prompt is what you say to Claude. A skill is what Claude reaches for once you say it. Skills are modular, versioned, and shareable across teams, and because of progressive disclosure, a project with 50 skills doesn't eat 50 times the tokens, since only the matched skill's full body ever loads. Myth busted. Skills are modular capability packs that live outside the conversation and fire automatically, which is a pretty different thing from a saved prompt. It's like the difference between texting a friend directions every time versus just dropping a pin once. 3 questions down, 3 to go. Part 4. Can you share skills with your team? Real scenario, you spend 2 hours building a skill that nails your company's tone of voice, and then your colleague on the same project is still re-explaining everything from scratch. That's duplicated effort across every person on the team, and it's the exact problem sharing is meant to solve. When I dug into the sharing options, here's what I found. You can share skills with your team today, and there are web libraries where people publish skills you can download. Org-wide sharing across teams is still in progress from Anthropic, so for teams that want version control and governance right now, a third-party tool called AgentMan handles it, free for up to 3 members and $10 per seat after that. Team sharing works right now, which is more than you can say for a save prompt that lives only on your machine. The org-wide rollout is still coming, so if you need it at enterprise scale today, Agent Man is the path. That's 4 questions answered, and sharing is the feature that turns a personal habit into a team standard. Okay, so we know what skills are, how they fire, and how to share them. But there's a question a lot of people skip that actually changes how you build your first one. Do you start with a built-in skill Anthropic already made, or do you build your own from scratch? And after that, I'm going to answer whether skills actually make Claude better or just faster. So, part 5, built-in versus custom skills. A lot of people open Claude for the first time and go straight to building a custom skill, not realizing Anthropic already built skills for the most common tasks, so they spend an hour building something that already exists. Knowing which lane is which saves you that hour and helps you figure out what custom skills are actually for. I didn't expect this, but Claude's ability to export .pdf, .docx, and .xlx files is entirely powered by built-in skills Anthropic wrote, not something Claude does natively. Built-in skills cover common file tasks like HTML artifacts and document creation, and custom skills are for your stuff, your brand guidelines, your internal workflows, the things no one else's skill would ever cover. The split is pretty clean. Built-in skills are Anthropic's, custom skills are yours, and both can run together automatically in the same session. Built-ins are the factory settings, custom skills are your personal config on top. 5 questions answered, and that last one is the one that tells you where to actually spend your time. Part 6. Do skills actually make Claude better, or do they just save you from retyping? This is the objection I hear most. People assume skills are just a convenient shortcut, like a keyboard macro, and that the output quality is the same either way. And if that were true, the whole thing would be way less interesting than it actually is. What the data actually shows is that skills make Claude better at specialized tasks, things like Excel formulas and brand guidelines, because the instructions are always there, not just when you remember to include them. On the speed side, community reports say writing skills cut their time in half, with the first draft landing 80% there instead of needing a full rewrite. Both, and that's the direct call. Skills improve quality and save time, not one or the other. The consistency benefit is real because Claude can't forget instructions that are baked into the skill. 6 questions answered, and that 80% first draft number is the one I keep coming back to. So here's what Claude Skills actually unlocks for you. You can teach Claude your company's brand guidelines once, and it applies them every single time. No re-explaining. You can build your first skill without writing a single line of code, by just answering the creator's questions, and you can share that skill with your whole team, so everyone gets consistent results from day one. And here's where people get it wrong. First wrong belief, skills require programming. They don't, unless you add executable scripts for advanced automation. Second wrong belief, skills are just save prompts, but they're modular, versioned capability packs, which is a completely different thing. Third wrong belief, you have to manually call a skill, but Claude auto-matches it from your request the moment you type. If you want Claude to stop forgetting your context and start getting it right the first time, build one skill today for your most repetitive task, no coding required. The whole thing comes down to one idea. Teach Claude once and it remembers forever. One thing that catches people off guard. The description field in your skill.md is the actual trigger mechanism, not just a label. If your description is vague or too broad, the skill fires on the wrong tasks or not at all, and most people write one line and move on. So you actually need to treat that description like a precise matching rule. Now that you know how Claude skills work, the next logical question is what Claude can actually output with them. And that's exactly what I cover in Claude Artifacts Explained. Same plain English format, and it answers the question of what Claude can build for you once the skill is set up right.